Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to our Larson-Juhl webinar. So welcome everybody to the next webinar in our series from Larson-Juhl. So what I'll do is I'll just take you through a couple of slides just to frame what we're going to be doing today. And then I'll hand over and introduce Graham Perryman, who's going to be leading and taking us through the webinar today. Okay, for those of you who haven't joined the webinars before, then a quick reminder over best practice in terms of Zoom and how to ask questions. So at the bottom of your screen, you will have a little Q&A icon. If you'd like to ask any questions whilst we go through the webinar, then you can click on that Q&A, ask questions, and we will either try to answer them during the call or we'll handle those questions at the end, and myself and Graham will talk through those at that point. The chat facility is actually disabled in Zoom, so you won't have the facility to chat. You can raise your hand, but we won't be able to respond to that because you'll be listening to us today. But please ask any questions as we go through the webinar. Okay, just a reminder of those webinars that we have already had and ones that we've got coming up. So we started them last Wednesday with talking about digital, so from Manny Wallier from our US team. Then on Thursday, John Price did a session around framing masterclass. On Friday, myself and Joe Palmer from the Framing Lot talked to you about selling from the design bench. And then I'll hand over to Graham shortly, but I'm delighted to say that I've got Graham Perryman from Dragonfly Framing joining me today to talk a little bit about how to create your unique selling proposition. And then tomorrow we'll wrap up all of the webinars with a session from our accountancy firm, MHA Accountancy, around business continuity. All of these webinars are being recorded. We will also have all of the presentation slides that will be running through available on our website. And I'm pleased to say that they are now available. I've had a number of you asking me when they will be. We've got those uploaded onto the website as of today. So there is a webinar section on our Larson-Juhl website for you to access the videos and the presentation slides. So if you want to go and watch them again, then they are there for you. Just ahead of the session that we've got planned tomorrow, I just wanted to give you a little bit more detail in terms of what we've got planned from our accountancy firm, MHA, around business continuity. I have extended this webinar to an hour and a half to make it 3 till 4:30 p.m. because we've been lucky enough to get 5 different attendees joining us to cover a variety of different sections around business continuity. So we've got Nigel Morris, first of all, who will be covering everything around the job retention scheme. And he'll also talk about unfurloughing staff if that is impacting yourself. Then we'll have Greg Taylor, who will be covering BBLs, bounce back loans, and also CBILS, which is the Coronavirus Business Interruption Loan Scheme. So Greg will cover everything to do with those topics. I'm pleased to say Lawrence Whitehead will be joining us to cover everything about venture capitalists, private equity options, and explain about future funds and loan size. There's some new initiatives that are being launched this month, which may be of interest to you. Then we have Jay Batty, who will cover everything about maximising research and development claims, something that maybe you wouldn't have thought of before, but actually there are tax breaks that you can get if you're looking at researching and providing some new technology or designs in our industry, and he'll talk about those tomorrow. And then finally, Alison will cover VAT and tax deferrals. So we'll have an extended session tomorrow from 3 till 4:30 p.m. Just a reminder again that there are CPD program points available for the Guild certified framers. So you're going to get 2 self-led CPD points for viewing a webinar. That's whether you view it live or you can do it after the event from our website. And then you will have sent out questionnaires to complete post that. Send those answers back to the Fine Art Trade Guild. and you'll get your points converted to verified. So that's another good reason to be involved in the webinars. So in terms of today's session, I'm going to hand over to Graham, and then Graham's going to talk to you about how to create your USP. So would you like to come off mute, Graham? And then I will hand over to you. I'll close my video and hand over to you, Graham.
Thank you very much, Matt, and thank you very much for inviting me along today. I'm just going to try and share my screen once I get control, so that I can show you the first part of my presentation. So just bear with me a moment. So you should now see my first slide, developing your USP. So just a bit of background firstly. I've been picture framing for the last three or so years, new to the industry. And previously I've spent the last 35 years in horticulture, and a lot of those in marketing teams, looking after CRM. So that's customer relationship marketing. We set up a loyalty club, and we're getting something like 100,000 customers, all paying £10 within the first year. So to do that, we really needed to have a unique selling proposition for that. And so I've learned quite a lot over the last few years about how that might help us, or help me certainly, and you guys, going forward into the future with framing businesses. So I wanted to ask the question, what is a USP, and do we really need one? Well, from my perspective, a unique selling proposition is something that should enable your business to stand out from the crowd. Now, we need to make an emotional connection with our potential customers, both nationally and locally, depending on your business type. And your USP should really enable you and your business to make an impact on the marketplace. I reference my trade as a picture framer from a personal point of view, because I really get a lot out of helping both artists and customers develop their art and their pictures that go in their walls. So that really is one of my unique things. I do a lot of volunteering with Oxfordshire Art Weeks and that sort of thing. So I've got some key strengths there. So I use that to my advantage. So your USP is all about what makes you unique, and what is appealing to your customers. Well, what does your brand say to your customers? So your USP is all about sort of what your core company identity is and what values it has that extend from your products and your services to your customer. So think of it really as your company's reason for being. Now, is it right really to simply say that you're the best picture framer around? Well, I'm sure if I, we ask everyone, yes, that we all think that we're probably the best picture framer around, that we're better than our competition, or whatever. But I don't think it's right to simply say that. Think about how you would see this goal if you were, let's say, a cafe owner. Given there's a vast array of individual tastes in a town or a city of people being the best cafe in town, it would be far less productive enterprise and require significantly more effort for you to become that place you must visit for a coffee shop or for a picture framer. So you should try and find something that makes you better, or that you do better, or uniquely that your competition perhaps doesn't do. So a more diverse and crowded category like cafes and coffee shops, they need to pick something that really shows that they're doing something great. Now, to differentiate this is one of the most important strategic and tactical activities which businesses can and must, if you like, constantly engage with. It will also help going forward into the future with your marketing plans, because you've then got something really tangible to talk about. So so just to recap, you should try and find something that you do better and doing it uniquely, rather than simply saying you're the best in a big market. We all wish that our businesses are remembered for what we do best. So it helps to identify your particular characteristics and what will make them memorable and unique to you. So some of you may do hand finished frames, or you might be a unique mount designer, or indeed you might be offering the best quality advice, or you have a fabulous gallery that does a very particular type of art. Your in-store experience, and there's a lot of talk these days about experiential shopping and the death of the high street, and how experiential shopping can make the difference between strong businesses and otherwise. It might be your customer service. What do you do differently in your customer service thing? So this differentiation is one of the most important and strategic tactical initiatives. So we'll need to think about that. So a question for everyone. Hope you've got your pens and papers ready. What traits does your business have that deserves the time, trust, and money of your potential customers? So let's have a think about that for a moment. We need to engage with our customers. And to engage with our customers, I personally believe that we need to do some customer research. That customer research will tell us lots of things about what our customers' problems are, what problems we need to solve, and how we might be able to solve them. Also, competitor research. When was the last time you popped down to your other competition, your framers in town, had a walk round, asked them how much it costs to frame something? What do they do that's different from you? How do you differentiate yourself from them? You'll need to know what your customers want. You'll need to know how your competition operates. In our industry, each of us satisfy a unique want, not a need. Consequently, we must have the appeal of our customers, an emotional and aspirational desire that they've got to have a picture framed. So we need to understand that in detail. So your USP doesn't necessarily have to revolve around one particular product, but it could encompass perhaps a unique aspect about your business as a whole. By playing up this quality to your target market, you can stand out. It will take a little bit of creative thinking too. So once you've got your customer research in the bag and you understand what your customers are looking for, and once you've understood what your competition do well and what they don't do so well, and where you can differentiate yourself, where you can offer a service that might not be available, some creative thinking is required to bring that together. And when you try to bring it together, try to think about what elements make your business compelling, different, and memorable. So to put that into sort of some English, if you like, we want to attract new customers. And in order to attract new customers, we need to compel our customers. We need to entice them into our business. So to do that, we need to do something that's different from other people, that is desired and wanted by our customers, and perhaps is memorable, that they really need and want to have. So to be captivating and convincing, be out of the ordinary or individual, and almost unforgettable or renowned within your town or county. So think about those points, and I'll give you a form at the end which we can put those things into, which will help us start to identify what differentiates us from our competition. So a step-by-step guide. So let's start with number one. What is your target audience? And we need to be precise here in stating who we are targeting. There's a marketing line that is pay and spray, which in a sense says, you can pay the money and you can spray your message out to everybody, but actually that won't save you any money. So to be targeted, it will save you money and resource in the future marketing of your business. So make sure that you're targeting the types of customer that you need, and do some research into what your current customers look like and how you might find customers of the similar ilk going forward. Specifics are important here. So as I say, be precise, narrow it down by perhaps homeowners, identify those who are actively involved in sport from a memorabilia point of view. Looking at sporting achievements, how can you attract those sorts of customers? Maybe there's art collectors or aficionados that are looking for unique and creative and imaginative framing to be done. There are lots of looky-likey customers, if you like, out there. You've got them in your databases, no doubt, so you need to understand who they are, where they come from, so that you can help target your marketing. So narrowing down your target market will save you money, as I've said. It will also bring the right customers to your door, and it will improve the return on any investment. So if you're investing £500 on some marketing and you're targeting the right customers, you're far more likely to bring back more than that in return sales, rather than just spraying the message out to all in sundry. So the top tip here is, if you try to sell to everyone, you might indeed end up selling to nobody, because you're not being targeted, you're not being relevant, and relevant is a really key word here, to the customers you're talking to. So targeting helps with that relevance. So the 80-20 rule, remember that 80% of your customers' revenue comes from 20% of your customers. But 65% of your sales come from 4% of those customers. That you've got some really probably very good customers within your database. So what problems do you solve with your products and services? With your customers' shoes on, drill down into what their particular attributes are, what products and services meet their needs, or indeed solve their challenges. Is it that you carry specialist materials, or do you have a design concept, or indeed is your service fantastic? It's important to remember what great USPs work, how great USPs work. They provoke that emotional response within our customers. So find that emotional connection and use it. When you boil it down, it's just two messages that spark interest in your ideal prospect: problems they don't want and results they don't have. So you're looking at those as you're trying to work out how you understand your customer. Focus on what your customer's problems are first before diving into the solutions. A great USP works because it provokes that emotional response. The emotional connection between your customers and problems and benefits, it benefits your proposition. And focus on what your customers have problems with first before diving into those solutions. Number three, what are you promising? Well, a key objective of a successful USP is to spell out or to imply a promise to your customers. And we'll write that down at some point as a pledge, maybe. So consider how you promote one unique quality or offer an impactful or emotional concept. Make sure, though, that you can deliver on that promise, and deliver on that promise consistently. Because there's nothing worse than saying, well, I'll deliver a framed picture in a week, if it takes you 2 weeks all the time to complete your picture. Number 3, what differentiates you from similar businesses locally or nationally? Your customer will look at you as well as your competition when they make a choice about who they're going to use. So again, with your customer eye view, coupled with your competitor research, decide on what differentiates your business from your competitors and remind yourself about the benefits of what you can deliver to your customers, rather than the features of our products. For instance, a great feature of using museum glass might be that it offers 99% UV protection, but it is the benefit to our customers that will connect with your customer. As we know, it will help preserve their artwork for much longer in its original condition. So we are protecting their treasures, and there's an emotional connection there. So think about the following categories. You can go through this and in your leisure, but you've got price, quality, service, speed of return of the finished piece of work, convenience, the guarantee, any customization you might do, and the originality of your work. So choose one rather than 8 or 9 of them. Choose one which you have real expertise in and uniqueness in, and that will draw out your features, and then you can decide the benefits of your customers, and then choose the number 1 benefit and why your customers should come to you. Strong benefits backed by overwhelming proof really build compelling messages. So stick to one category. This focuses attention of something specific and unique to you. So think about the benefits of what you deliver to your customers rather than the features, and look through your customer's eyes when you're looking about how you're going to differentiate your business from your competitors. So we're now going to try and combine our results to give us a unique selling proposition. So writing out all you've worked on so far will be in a short paragraph or 2. It may even be longer. So to reach the final USP, we need to refine it into 1 or 2 sentences because it needs to be concise. Your proposition should encompass or imply what differentiates you from your competition and how you promise to solve their problems, the customer's problems, and the real proof that you can deliver on your promise. So just to recap, look at your target audience. So do some customer research. What problems do you solve? So do your customer research. What are your customers looking for? And how can you solve their problems? What are you promising to your customers? Are you promising something that's undeliverable, or can you deliver consistently? What differentiates you from similar businesses locally or nationally? So what's unique about your business? What's compelling? What really entices people to come through your front door? And combining your results will then give you your selling proposition. So I just want to move on to a little graphic that I put together so that you can see how these things marry together to bring you your unique selling proposition. So your prospect is your potential customer, and we're going to be precise about who we're going to target. So rather than simply targeting all customers in my town, narrow it down more precisely. Target customers that you know will want your product, that need your services, and that you'll be able to solve problems. When you boil it down, we've talked about problems and what they want and the results that they might need. So focus on those rather than your services. The promise, the key objective, one unique quality, impactful concept or emotional concept, and try and deliver your promise consistently. Draw out the features of your business and your proposition, and then decide which benefits your customer. Choosing one benefit why your customers come to you above the competition. Strong benefits backed by overwhelming proof builds a compelling marketing message, and that will be quite useful in the future. So there's your proposition, and it should encompass what differentiates you from your competition and how you promise to solve your customers' problems with real proof. And there's your USP sweet spot in the center. So just a quick, I'm not sure whether these will come up, but we'll try. We'll try. So competition research, I've done a quick little form in Word, which I've attached to these. So you're looking at the location, the website, the services offered, customer service that they offer, the type of services they offer, quality and price, and any unique attributes. There may be other things as well, but here's a little form just that one can I don't know whether you can see that. I'm sorry if you can't.
We can, Graham.
You can. Lovely. That's good of you. Thank you. It's difficult to know when you're staring at the screen whether or not you can see it or not. So that's one form, and there are several others. There's the similar one for customer survey, and there is also one for helping you bring together all of the different elements and then starting to combine it into your USP. So hopefully that's been helpful. I think I should sort of hand over and see if there's any questions that anyone would like to ask. So if I just move on to that screen there, and then I'm happy to take a few questions if anyone would like to.
Cool. Thank you, Graham. I'm just going to come back onto video now. So you could do the same. If you stop sharing your screen, and then we can both go back onto...
I'll find the a relevant link. Just bear with me. I've got
That's
too many screens open.
Yeah, thank you very much, though. We and just to let everybody know that we will be putting onto the website not only the webinar, so we'll put the recorded webinar on there, but we will put the presentation on as well, and we will put the documents as well that Graham's mentioned. So we'll get all of those bits uploaded to the website, and then you'll have those to access and to view afterwards.
I'm just trying to find the here we go, I've got it.
That's okay. Wonderful. Okay, so let's have a look. We have got a few questions down here, which I'll run through. Hello.
Hello, so I'm back.
That's okay. Everyone can see you now. So good. So listen, thank you very much for that presentation. That was very useful. We've got a few questions here. So Steve said, don't framers try to be all things to all men, though, generally, i.e. they take all work from everyone?
Indeed, probably. And it is very difficult, isn't it, to say no. But from a marketing perspective, you're looking for the right customers, those people that spend more money, perhaps, those people that have treasures that need the right treatment. So your marketing, your USP is all around trying to target those people and bring them to your front door. So that's where I would head with that. But yes, you know, it is difficult to turn people away. Of course it is. But you know, and we all do work that perhaps we, it's all money these days coming into your business is always good, but sometimes we get the jobs that we're not quite so keen on, maybe, if that's the right way of putting it.
Yeah, that's understandable. Okay, I've got one here saying, what would you favour? Newspaper advertising, radio ads, Google ads, or some other type of marketing? So,
yes. So print has some disadvantages in as much as that it's too expensive in compared to digital marketing. In fact, in the first year of my business, I did quite a lot of ads going to sort of 30,000 homes within my nation, which is in sort of North Oxfordshire. The key thing with paper ads is to have have a mechanic within your ad in paper that you can trace back to that ad. So it might be, you know, I don't really like discounting, but 5% off your next picture frame. That when they bring that in, you know that it's come from there, because one of the biggest things with paper advertising is trackability. You've got to know, is it working for you? I did 9 months worth of advertising with a particular publication. It cost me quite a lot of money, but I didn't get the traction and the response that I was expecting. Now, it is good to keep it in people's minds, but it's an expensive means of going out there. So from my point of view, digital is better. On the last call we had, or the first webinar we had, they took out Google. So if you haven't got your business on Google, on the main search bit of Google, and you put in all your details with your opening hours and all that, that is a tremendous, that's done so much for my business. It is unbelievable. It's free, and it's going out there, and when people search for picture framers near me, I'm coming up on the list, and it's great. So that's really, really critical. If you haven't done that, that's one thing you should do. I do some advertising on Facebook, and I do a little bit on Instagram, which is quite a visual social media platform. And I do quite a lot of work with Oxfordshire Art Weeks as well. So I'm advertising my business through them, and my volunteering, running art exhibitions and that type of stuff. And I also do some networking. So I go out on a networking meeting every Wednesday, and I talk to other businesses and other business owners and other people around what I do. And I get a lot of referrals and business back from those people. So all of those things, whilst they're not that, you know, they vary in expense, they combined are an awful lot cheaper than the paid advertising in terms of paper and magazines and things that I was doing. So my recommendation, it's a long answer for a very short, what should be a really short one. I personally favour digital marketing and face-to-face marketing, but you've got to be prepared to get out there and meet the people and do the walking.
Cool. Yeah, that's very good advice, and I would recommend for anybody who wants to look back at the webinar from last Wednesday to do that. I think there is some really good advice in there from Manny around digital marketing, using Google Analytics, which again, you are able to do that to have a look at how your websites are performing and some of the other areas of it, which would definitely help you. Thank you. Let's just have another look at a couple of other questions in here. They've just got something from Steve in follow-up, just saying that, Steve, I'd more look for the customers with work I can make money from. I find it easy to turn it away effectively if you send them to other framers. So there's just some thoughts there, I guess, around different approaches to that. I have got one here about GDPR, which I'm happy to answer. Actually, I do know a little bit about some of the GDPR laws.
As I am as well.
Ah, cool. Okay, good. So we've got collecting customer emails, phone numbers, etc. is fine, but how long can you keep it for marketing purposes within the laws on GDPR?
So GDPR is all about protecting your customers' privacy. And the short answer to this really is you need a policy whereby you say how long you're going to keep it, and you write that policy down. So from my point of view, I say that I'm going to keep my customers' details for 10 years. And I put them in a database which will retire that data after 10 years. So I need that data, whether it be for, and obviously with their permission. So you also have to record when and where you were given that permission to market to those customers. So I use MailChimp, which is a really, really good free emailing service. They allow you to do, I think it's 20,000 sends a month or something like that. So it's you get a huge amount for nothing. it also, whenever you get a new customer, you put it in there, it records the date, and it does lots of things in there like double opt-in to make sure that people are really, really do want to be on your mailing list. And if you follow those rules, then you can continue marketing to them. And that's consent marketing. You've also got legitimate interest, and legitimate interest is definitely a bit more complex, but the key thing with legitimate interest is about recording why you think it is legitimate interest, and selecting the right set of customers who you believe that legitimate interest lies in. So this comes back to your USP again, because you're targeting a unique set of customers for a unique purpose. So it's really important to understand who your customers are, and maybe even segment them. And again, they talked about this on the last webinar, that actually segmenting your customers into, I break mine down into artists and into wealthy customers and so on. So I've got a breakdown of who I think I can target certain things to. And actually email marketing, which I didn't cover earlier, is fantastic, because in effect that's going straight to their inbox and they're going to view it. Now, okay, there's a lot of traffic there, but you've got a one-to-one relationship there, and it's about relevance. It's about talking to that customer individually, and that's really important. So understanding who they are is really, really important. So GDPR is important, absolutely, but there's some very simple things you can do to make sure that you fall in line. And one of the things that I would say, just to finalize that question, is make sure if you are collecting data, and most of us do, that you register with the ICO. I think it's £40 a year now, but you need to do that. It's legislation if you're going to be doing mailing lists and so on.
Thank you. Yep, that's a great answer and covers that in a good amount of detail. There's one here as well which probably follows on a similar vein, really, Graham, about would you have some suggestions on how to look at different customers to focus on? So I think that's very much what you were just talking about.
Yeah, so different customers. I mean, I do quite a lot of memorabilia framing these days, so I'm always looking for sports clubs and that type of thing that I can go and talk to and engage with. Also, I've got quite a lot of contacts recently from the local garrison here, which has about 4,000 people and army people, and it's proving quite a good source. So actually, if you've got these kind of things, is actually building a relationship with the lieutenant colonel who runs the organization, or and then they'll give you some business. When you've done some great jobs for them, there's a lot of stuff through recommendation. So yeah, it is really about understanding your area and what you specialize in and where you want to go with it. I quite enjoy doing the memorabilia stuff, but also I'm equally as happy doing someone's pastels. I've got a couple of, in fact, I've got 80 odd plus artists on my mailing list now, and a lot of them do pastels or acrylics or oils, and so I'm always talking to them and understanding what their needs are and that type of thing. So it's really important to develop your core customers and understand who they are and what they want from you.
Okay.
Does that answer the question?
That answers the question very well. Thank you. Another one here just about looking at time. So how much time should I spend on marketing my business? Or I guess, do you spend as well?
Yeah, how much time? It is always a difficult one, isn't it? And as a sole trader, during the day I try to do the framing because I work in a studio that I don't have access to during the evenings. So I may well do some marketing work at home when I get home and do it in an offline sort of basis. However, things like scheduling, Facebook ads and that type of thing really take the legwork out. So if you spent perhaps half a day a week, or maybe even a day a week, to focus on, so that's probably 6 to 8 hours, to focus on your post for the month. So you could do 8 hours of marketing stuff, and that could last you a month. because you can schedule posts in Facebook or Instagram or three, or if you're into LinkedIn, LinkedIn's quite good for business to business contacts. So if you're doing certificates, that type of thing. So, you know, you can condense a lot of your marketing, but in order to do that, you really need a plan. So you need your unique selling point. You need a marketing plan that says, okay, what do I want to achieve next month? I want to achieve more memorabilia framing. So here's my marketing plan. Here's my target audience. You know, this is what I'm going to deliver to them. These are the sorts of things I'm going to share with them. Once you've done that, you're left for the rest of the month to let your scheduled posts and your scheduled marketing go out there to talk to your customers while you're actually doing the work.
That's yeah, really good advice. And then I think one of the other benefits as well in having a plan like that is that at the end of it, then you can review back against it. And
well, of course, with marketing, you're right, Matt. It's always important to kind of find out whether it's been successful or not. So if it's been successful, repeat. And if it's not been successful, drop it and try something different.
Cool, good suggestion. And final one I've got here is one about in the marketing arena. Who would you say was a guru to follow, and do you recommend any books on marketing? So have you got any ideas?
Well, I've got hundreds of books on marketing. It's really difficult to pick one in particular. I'm just looking on the shelf now, see if I can see one. I can't. Perhaps in the comments afterwards, I'll send you a few recommendations of things that are quite good. I can't think of one off the top of my head, but you know, you know, some of the larger organizations that do TV advertising things have got some great ideas. Marks and Spencer's, you know, with their food springs to mind, but you know, we don't have that kind of budget. You know, we're small organizations that perhaps, you know, spend an awful lot less on their marketing than that. So I think for me, it's difficult to pick out one or two individuals in it. I just think you've got to be compelling. You've got to have some interesting ideas, and you've got to bring people to your door with, you know, with something that really means something to people. You know, I find it difficult to pick out any one person that does great advertising. There's lots out there, I'm sure, but yeah, it's difficult.
Yeah, and I think the thing for me as well that I particularly within this industry, which is great, is that it is a very creative industry, and you know, make that come out with the marketing that you do and how you do it. You know, get your personality out there. And how the shop is and looks and feels, and that's really important to get across to customers, because everybody is unique and individual in the industry that we've got here. It's very diverse, and that's a nice part of it.
And one of the things, perhaps I missed a trick there actually, Matt, because one of the promotions you did last year was to frame something odd, wasn't it? So actually, you know, that will have some traction, you know, depending on, you know, your customers and whatever. But
yes,
you know, maybe I should have picked Larson-Juhl as my favourite.
we did a Get Framers campaign, which was really good. It got people thinking in different ideas in terms of how you frame things, and we had some great entries there, which, you know, were very, very different and unique. It was the chessboard that won in the end, which was a great entry. But yeah, it is nice. It's a nice creative industry, and being able to get that across is good for customers to see. Okay, that's taken us to the end of the session. So my thanks to you, Graham, for coming and sharing with us, you know, your experience and talking around USP. As I said before, I'll include the webinars onto the website for people to look at afterwards, and all the material as well. But if there's any other questions from everybody, then please feel free to send them across. Myself or Graham will be happy to answer them.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks everybody.
Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.
Bye.